Hey there, fabulous friend. It's me, Dr. Missy Hillock, and I am here to bring you an awesome energy forecast for the last full week of March, which is March 22nd to 28th of 2026. I should also start by saying, Happy spring, we made it. That's, of course, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, happy fall, y'all. Two of my favorite seasons. So, no matter where you are in the world, I hope it's beautiful and I hope the weather is just bringing you to life and giving you so many of the good feels and good vibes. And that really is a great way to kind of lead into the energy of this week, knowing that here in the Northern Hemisphere, we have started this new season of renewal, of rebirth. We also shifted into Aries season. Really, we've started over the zodiac calendar, right? And we're at the a new zodiac year. And Aries is like ready to roll, action oriented. So we've got spring and we've got Aries, and we just had a new moon a few days ago. All of those things are like whew, forward motion energies in our very forward energy year of the fire horse. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, if you're like so damn excited, but also like already exhausted, or you're like, holy cow, things just like popped off, know that I'm right there with you. And that is such the energy right now. And so I think these cards are going to reflect that and are going to let me dive a little bit more deeper into what this means for you, what this means for me, and how we can move through this the best possible way. So let's dig in. So the first deck that I chose is a Rebecca Campbell deck, Work Your Light. Such a profound deck, really deep messages. I love the color scheme of this deck, and it was very spring-like. Part of how I chose the decks this time were the colors on the boxes for the cards that were really inspiring me for this. So two cards came out, Deep Replenishment and Inner Temple. Just look, I'll let you gaze a moment at the beautiful images there, and then we'll look at these one by one. So let's start with deep replenishment. The message is retreat, rest, and be held. And it's kind of like, well, dang, again, it's all this action oriented energy. So why are we calling immediately for rest and replenishment? And I think that's exactly the reason why. It's like, think about when you've been in a dark room for a long time or you've been asleep through the night. Someone comes in and turns on the light. You're like, oh my God, you're overstimulated. Your eyes are hurting. It's painful. It's too much too soon. You need some time to adjust. And I think that's part of what this card is calling for. This time to be in honor of your own needs, of filling your own vessel, filling your own well. If you want to use the analogy of water, which is so beautiful here in this card. Also, notice our little waxing crescent moon there, which is the moon phase that we're in right now after this new moon. So think about this as this time, this call for filling our inner well. Filling what I like to think of as like the chalice of my heart. If my heart were a beautiful chalice, like the Holy Grail, the only way that we can give, the only way that we can do is with what is already in there. How much capacity, like what are we working with, right? Is it overflowing? Because when it's overflowing, man, can I give? I've got enough for everybody, for me and everybody else. But if that cup is running low, if that well is running dry, we have very little left for ourselves or therefore anyone else. And so this is a call to notice where you need to be filled, how you need to be filled, and where you're being called to do that. Because here's what happens when we are in a state of energy loss and we've put out a lot of energy and now we feel that well running dry a little bit. Our natural instinct is to fill it back up. And that can be healthy or unhealthy ways. A lot of times they are external ways, like, well, I want to eat this, or I want to go be in nature. I'm going to take a walk. There are great ways and healthy ways to help us refill. There are also ways that are a little more numbing, a little more coping, a little more codependent, that maybe not be as healthy, right? Maybe it is food, but it's excess of food or not ideal food for your body. Maybe it's drugs or alcohol. Maybe it's mindless time spent on the television or on the phone. Yesterday, I found myself doing this. I had run a hot bath for myself. My intention was to get in there and to do a beautiful meditation during my time in the tub, which I do a lot. And I get in there, I've got my headphones, I've got my phone because I'm going to do my meditation. And about 30 minutes into my tub time, I realized I've been sitting here looking at random things, emails, things on Facebook. I completely wasted my time in the tub, ran out of time, got out hoping I was going to be like renewed. And I was even more frazzled and stressed than when I went in. So then I had to do a little thing later in the day to really help me bring back to filling up. Right? So we do that. We will look for stuff. So this is an invitation to really know what is going to allow you to nourish yourself. What is a way that you can retreat and rest so that you can fill up your well, so that you can be the best self for you, for everybody else, and all the things in front of you, all the amazing, great ways to take action, all these experiences, things that are unfolding, so that you have everything you need for that. I also think it's a great invitation potentially if you're feeling called into a retreat. Right now is like the kickoff of retreat season, right? Everywhere you look, someone's got something, whether it's a day retreat in your community or something as simple as like a sound bowl healing, which we just went to actually last night, which was beautiful. Or maybe it's a long week-long retreat. If this is something that you're feeling called into, take some time to reflect on whether that is a great step for you at this time. So the second card, Inner Temple, is really, to me, pairs so beautifully with this one. So the message is devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. And in this particular deck, both of these cards, there's like 4 or 5 different categories of cards. They're both considered action cards, which I also think is really cool given all this action theme that I'm talking about. So the action here is on the heels of replenishing and retreating and resting, is this card of going into the heart, our true portal to the divine, our wisdom, our knowing, our holy grail, our chalice, if you will, and do that in devotion. And it means instead of just looking at what can I do today or what can I do this week to help me recharge and fill, this card is saying the invitation is actually now, how can I make that a regular practice? How can I build this in and prioritize this through devotion of living this way, looking for things that really nurture and nourish me as a soul and as a physical vessel and all this aspects of energy that I am, and how can I make this a regular practice? Really, really wise, great advice there. The next deck that I pulled from is Angels and Auras from Rad Valentine and Dougal Fraser. And I loved this card personally when I pulled it because it gave me a lot of hope, but I also really saw myself in this card. So it's card number 14. Angels are watching over you. And the message is supported, protected, loved, and encouraged. And as you can see, the woman in the image, I'd say she's a little stressed. She's a little overwhelmed. She's got a lot on her plate. She's got stacks of books around her. You know, think of that as all of our to-dos and our responsibilities, especially right now here in the States. It's also tax season. I know that's one of the things I've been trying to get motivated to like finish up, is to move through some of those activities that are really requiring attention right now, but maybe they're not my favorite. Maybe there's some resistance there. Maybe they're stressful or they trigger things like, you know, problem solving or, you know, things that just exert a lot of energy, right? So here she is in her overwhelm, feeling stressed, maybe feeling a little bit lost, wanting some guidance, but she's got the whole team, right? The whole team is behind her. They're bringing gifts. They're showing her signs. They're wanting her to know she is always supported. And I think that is something we need to hear every single day, is that we are, even when we can't see it, we are guided, we're protected, and that even things that come up that appear as challenges or are things that are not our most preferred activities, they're always a reason for those things. And a lot of times they even add value to our life. I'll give my example of taxes. If this is me doing my taxes and needing to get all the accounting for our businesses and everything in order, I can also look at that and go, wow, I'm so grateful that I have all of these resources to manage. I'm so grateful that I have the intelligence to do so and the organizational skills to do so. And now some new folks coming on board to help me with those things. I'm so glad that I have successful businesses that require this level of care and attention for something that I really don't enjoy. But man, do I enjoy the things that this task supports for me, right? So sometimes it's just angels coming into our consciousness and providing that perspective and that insight so that we can lead and go into those things with a renewed mindset, greater clarity, a little bit of an energy boost to go, okay, I'm going to get out off my own pity party. I'm going to quit leading the band. And man, how much, my life is hard right now, and really start being my own celebration, warrior. And like, let's talk about what's amazing, right? So great call for that. And then I love the last card because it's perfect for this. And it's from the messages from the Mermaids deck. And the card is contentment. So look at this cute little mermaid. She's hanging out. It's nighttime. The water is still. She's reflecting there with this beautiful sky. There's also a lighthouse in the background, kind of this beacon. Consider it just a beacon of light. It's like, here I am shining on you. And all that you've created, that you're experiencing, and in this reflection of contentment. And so what really is contentment? Of course, it's this deep satisfaction. It's this like satisfaction at a level of just knowing how precious your life is and what is happening and what you have in your life, how amazing that is. And if I could use a synonym for contentment and what that means to me, I think the word would be peace. And what a wonderful thing. Like, it's so awesome to experience joy and passion and fun and laughter, but peace, that's a really great one, right? To just be able to go, like, all is well, right? All is for me. Nothing can harm me. Like, in this moment, everything's great. And I love this invitation right now during this time when it's really easy to be in a little bit of overwhelm with all the stuff going on around us. It doesn't matter how fantastic those things are. They could be the most fun, exciting, prayed for things, and they can still be a lot. They still require our energy. And so this is just a reminder that in itself is okay. It's okay that we exert energy and sometimes we get drained and we've got to fill our cup back up. That's the least selfish thing we can do when we fill that cup back up so that we can continue to pour into our own life and into the lives of others. And so when we can be with that level of peace, that level of knowing, trust, contentment, presence with all of that, makes this whole thing so much easier, right? So I hope this is a message that takes you through this final full week of March as we charge ahead into this spring energy, whether we're ready for it or not. And I hope that whatever you're doing and experiencing is part of those seeds that we've planted that have begun to germinate and are starting to grow some roots and maybe even start to peek out from the soil, so that in the weeks to come, there's going to be so many beautiful things that you're creating and experiencing and sharing with the world. I will plan to see you next week. Until then, you can always sign up for my mailing list where you'll get great messages, guidance, support, tools, and techniques sent right to your inbox. You can also follow me here on my YouTube channel where you can receive a beautiful energy message each Sunday here as well. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye, friends.